Hello and welcome back to Huddle Up. We are finally here, the Super Bowl. I'm Thomas Pocrnic, as always in studio, joined by Luca Celebre in Las Vegas at the site of the Super Bowl. Luca, how's it going down there?
It's going great so far, Pac. We had opening night a night ago and just had some amazing chats with players, as you'll see coming up in the show. It's a bit of a just crazy mess because I feel like that's what Super Bowl week is. It's just media from all parts of the earth converged on one place, talking about the same sport, talking about the one matchup. There's former players, there's celebrities. Like it's just wild. And it's amazing. So lucky to be here, but even happier to be talking to you about the big game. It's fitting that we're doing this one more time before the Super Bowl.
I'm pumped to get into it. Like I said, it's the Chiefs, it's the 49ers, it's Mahomes, it's Purdy. This game just feels like storyline galore, and I think it's best to just jump right into previewing this thing and trying to decide who is going to come out on top as the champions this year. The Chiefs are underdogs again, a third straight week. Luca, are you leaning in their direction?
It's so tough to not lean in their direction just because of Patrick Mahomes. And I know we've talked about him a ton in previous weeks. He's going to be talked about in the lead up a ton as well. And rightly so. He's the greatest quarterback we've ever seen play outside of Tom Brady as far as the accolades go for Brady. But I think it's fair to say that, like, from a talent perspective, the best quarterback we've ever seen. I think the thing that scares you with this Chiefs team, if you're San Francisco, is they do it in a lot of different ways now. Like, Mahomes had a great first half against the Ravens, but that offense sputtered after their 2 touchdown drives on consecutive drives. And he was able to make no mistakes. He played mistake-free football. The offensive line held up. And they didn't have that backbreaking turnover on offense that maybe would have given the Ravens some life. He was fine with just dumping it down, with taking those checkdowns and not forcing the issue against a really good team. So the fact that they can win in so many different ways and that defense is firing on all cylinders like they are as the best defense in football, I think if you're San Francisco, that's the scary part because Mahomes can put up 350 in his sleep and then the defense can shut you down.
Yeah, it's been a very un-Kansas City-like way of how they've played this season and how they've looked. And I think it shows growth in the career of Patrick Mahomes. And he doesn't have to play this hero ball where he's trying to always make a big play and put up massive stat lines. He's trusting the team around him this year. And we've been talking about it all playoffs. This defense for Kansas City has just looked so good. And then on the other side, you got the San Francisco 49ers. And if you want to talk quarterbacks, Brock Purdy has just been, over the last calendar year and a bit, one of the best stories in football. The last pick in the draft, no one really knew who he was. Here he is starting in a big game. And as much as the goalposts continue to move with all the naysayers saying what he can and can't do, he continues to drive results. And the 49ers continue to get it done. So I don't know. There's another element in the game that I think is going to be very, very interesting, that matchup of Brock Purdy going up against this great defense. But the 49ers just have a plethora of a ton of great weapons as well.
Yeah, we talked to some of those weapons on opening night too. Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Christian McCaffrey. And, like, these guys are just so unique in their skill sets too. When you think about, like, what they can do, like, Ayuk is just so talented as far as that his athleticism goes. Like, when he catches a pass, it's like a 20-yard pass every time. He works that intermediate area of the field so well. And then you've got Deebo Samuel, who we've talked about it before. The yards per play just goes up by like 2 yards every time he's in compared to when he's not in for the entire offense. So it's not just him getting the ball, it's the gravity and the space that he takes up. And when he gets the ball in his hands, even though he's a smaller statured guy, he is tough as nails and hard to bring down. And then you've got McCaffrey, who's arguably the MVP outside of Lamar Jackson, and George Kittle, who, let's not forget, is maybe the best tight end other than Travis Kelce. You can take your pick for play styles, but he's unbelievable, and Kelce has said the same thing. And Kelce even said it today, too. It's hard not to cheer for Brock Purdy. Like, the story from Mr. Irrelevant to starting in the Super Bowl, playing in 2 NFC championship games, or leading your team to 2 NFC championship games in your first 2 years. And then the stories about, like, Tom Brady, if he would have come to San Francisco, it's only because Purdy was hurt, and, like, it's a compliment in a way that, like, Shanahan was saying the only guy that would have started over Brock Purdy this year was Tom Brady. Like, think about what that means and how highly they think of this guy that's leading their team. It's definitely not what some of the naysayers kind of tend to think when they think of Brock Purdy.
To think he's one game away from joining the likes of so many legendary quarterbacks to sit atop of the NFL world. I'm so excited. I think it's going to be a great, great game. But let's talk final predictions. I want a score prediction from you, and I also want a sleeper Super Bowl MVP. Who do you got?
Okay, well, I'm going to go with San Francisco because as a Broncos fan, I can't do this again. I can't see Kansas City succeed once again. But I honestly think San Francisco is going to win this game. And final score, let's go 27-24. Sleeper Super Bowl MVP. Oh, man. Let's go Ayuk. A big game from him. If Debo is going to be maybe followed by L'Jarius Sneed, I'm not sure what the matchups will be. Maybe Ayuk is the guy that breaks this game open with a couple of big plays to get San Francisco's offense going. But even if Sneed is covering him, he's such a good player. He's so athletic. He's so dynamic with the ball in his hands. So that's what I'll go. I have a feeling I know where you're going, but give it to me. Give me the prediction. Give me the in-depth analysis of why you are going with the team you're going with.
Yeah, I've been with the Chiefs all throughout the playoffs, so it's tough for me to go against them. I know they're the underdogs, but Patrick Mahomes is just playing close to perfect football right now. He hasn't thrown an interception in 7 straight games in the playoffs. And if you look at his playoff stats, he's played 17 playoff games now, which is essentially a full season. It is just wild, the kind of things that he is doing right now for the Kansas City Chiefs. And I think he's honestly not going to have to do a whole lot because of how good their defense is playing. So it's hard for me to pick against the Chiefs right now, but I'm going to say it stays relatively close. Give me the Chiefs 26, the 49ers 23, a field goal game. Everyone loves it. If it's decided in the fourth quarter, even better. And Super Bowl MVP, if I can't say Patrick Mahomes, I'll give you a sleeper, and that's Isaiah Pacheco. He has done so much on the ground. And these second half Chiefs have been weird all season in the sense that they haven't scored a whole lot of points. But if they build an early lead, they love to bleed the clock, and they can just run you into the ground and kill a whole lot of time. So if the game gets to that, I trust Isaiah Pacheco to get the job done, and I can see him winning over some votes in the Super Bowl MVP race.
That's a great pick, and San Francisco's defense has been prone to giving up some big runs. We saw it in the Green Bay game, so I love that pick. I love the prediction. We're both going against one another here. You've come out on top in more of these predictions than I have, but we'll see what happens on Sunday. And before we get there, we're going to take you back to opening night and show you what me and Marissa got up to with the players.